Yes. So now we are online, I hope. Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan Frolov again. It's NordSync Online Seminar number 9. We have survived this far. We survived New Year. Welcome, everyone. And I'll just remind a little bit what we're doing here. NordSync Online Seminars are all about connecting artists and musicians working in interdisciplinary area of art. And we are very happy to have with us today two amazing artists. It is Margrethe Røhr-Staff from Fredrikstad in Norway, in the central part. That's a central part of Norway, and she is a modern dancer. And also Sophia Hugo Cabo, who is a cellist from Oslo in Norway. And I think without further me wasting time, I will just give a word to Ellen. And Ellen, please introduce yourself and tell us about what you do.
Oh, yes, thank you, Stefan. Thank you for inviting me in here. So, my name is Margrethe Røhr-Staff. Yes, I'm from Fredrikstad, the south of Norway. I'm a contemporary dancer. Yeah, my education is from London Contemporary Dance School in London, where it was very natural for me to become a dancer, to take that so very quick as a start. So I was a gymnast when I was young, and this city I live in didn't have that many opportunities back then. So that was my kind of way into dance. I've always been a dyslexic. So for me, moving is it's been my strength since I was very small. So that was very natural choice for me, because I knew this is where I feel home, and this is where I feel safe and strong. So this is kind of how I started my, natural going into dance as I got a bit older and the opportunity started to arise. So I lived in England for quite a few years before I returned back in 2008. Then I returned back to my hometown, as I thought, here I can maybe do something. It wasn't much when I came back either. We had some dancers were living here, and we kind of started an organization called Dansekunst Østfold, which is dance artists in Østfold. It's an organization that kind of bounds and so we can kind of have an umbrella under us. This has been slowly developing since then, and it's something I still quite involved in, especially as an artistic leader, to kind of see how we can develop our community further. Now we're I don't know how many, closing to 100 members, and lots of dancers now looking our way, and things are happening. And as the art is very, challenged with money now, we are very happy to say we are slowly going up. That's the organization here, which is just one thing I do. I'm also a choreographer. I choreograph for people around, also local people in different areas, as well as my own professional stuff. And also I'm an active contemporary dancer and performer. I will tell you a little bit about my projects, because I think you will understand a little bit more about me. So one of the projects I'm doing for the moment is called Direct Action Theatre. We are quite a big group of maybe base around 25 people, but the core is maybe around 10. We are very diverse people from lots of places around the world, and also based a bit around the world. But we have a kind of stable base here in Fredrikstad, where some people from Czechia that is basing this project around me. This is a project with very where we are bounding between activism and art. So Activism is something people would like to call us. In this project, we serve and protect. And we serve and protect different things. We dress up as riot police uniforms. So we have a very strong visual agenda. And we kind of have our purpose of what we think which police or the
serve and protect. Yeah, that sounds like a police. What is it, Memo or something? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun. So we kind of serve and protect. So we've done things, and then we go out and do public intervention. We call it, because we're trying to kind of have these boundaries. So we're not going out like activism. So we join people at protest, and we do our kind of artistic version out of it.
Yeah.
And we're done, and also we just pop out. So we kind of pop out places, and suddenly we're there. So we've done things like around the embassies of Poland for sexual rights. We've done quite a few things around Palestine, especially based on the children. We've done that in Prague at the Karls Bridge, and we also done it in Trondheim and places. And also, we also work with environmental things. So we've been a little bit around stirring up some of the oil industry conferences around. And then so is Ukraine. We have been also helping making a huge peace sign in Kumarice, joined with lots of refugees from Ukraine, and creating like a huge peace sign with people on that big squares. All these kind of things we bring back into the black box, and we have made stage performance that we performed around, mostly in Czechia and Sweden and Norway for time being. But we are just we're still moving around. So this is kind of, this project is very great for me, because I can work with things that I find really, really important together with my art. And it's also very I meet so many people, diverse in so many ways, of culture, of sexuality, and also how kind of art people do, because this project brings in lots of kind of artists. And I think, we are 2-3 people that are very contemporary dancers, but then it's performers, musicians, all sorts of people, actually, like light designers suddenly in the costume, we have, because they also want to, so we have, this is a very living and community-based almost project. Beside there, I also work with a theater company called T.I.T.S. And here I'm working on a project now called What Carries You. I have once a week I teach at the local kulturskola here, and have my classes with the local kids. And for 10 years ago, a girl came in with Down syndrome called Sanna. And it's not very normal for us to, with the disabilities joining class, it's not normal. We don't have a way of organizing it or what.
Yeah, it's not that developed yet in Norway.
It's it's a lacking, how to meet this. So, but somehow we just thought, okay, if one comes, come in the door, and she was a gymnast, so thought this is, it's gonna be good. I've been teaching her for 10 years. Now she's 21 and finished my school. She's been in my class, a normal class, just joining in the side. But with us, she has a certain quality. She's so good. She works so hard, and she managed to kind of keep the level. But in her little disability world, she's also doing gymnastic. And here she's not just doing the level. There she's a top star. She's done Olympic medals. She has 2 bronze and a silver in in Paralympics. So we are extremely proud of this girl. She also demonstrates a lot to rights for people for Down syndrome. So she's like a representative in her in her environment. Also because she's fighting very hard to get an education. She's trying to become a nurse. And she's like in this part, and the system is fighting very, very hard to make her like not manage to do this. But they're allowing her to do it, but also kind of to make her fail. Or it's like this kind of, it's such a battle. So we decided we'd take this project and we make a duet with me and Sana. This is what we're doing now. We're in creation of this. It's a very beautiful little project. It's a musician live on stage with me and a visual artist that works a lot on how the visual part with video and stuff with us. And it's me and Sana. Yeah.
Then I will probably ask a lot of stupid questions on the way, if you don't mind, just because it's
please.
so interesting, and it's like such a great privilege to have a dancer with us. And I'm very curious, being a musician myself, how could you just say a couple of words? How does one become a modern dancer? What kind of background is it usually? Do people all have similar story, or some people have one background and another? How do people come to that job? Can you tell a little maybe about your way and more generally how it works in your world?
I mean, I meet so many people, with so many different backgrounds.
Start with yours. So you studied that.
I think like this is like, when musicians talk because I love working with musicians and things they say to us, like, you're like this, your dancers like that. And I think like one of the things people talk about with us is this kind of, we are very social, physical people. To be physical together is like something that gives us a lot, I think. So so this is like something you feel like people have very in common, this kind of feeling of expressing through body, and how you find that. It's like, it's a journey. And I think a contemporary dancer is a little bit a field in our community, which is not very commercial. It's a lot to do maybe about bringing some kind of meaning or politics or something you think about, philosophy, it's always, I think I can find that in contemporary dancer, that those maybe have a little bit more intellectual way of looking, like, or very kind of passionate thing that maybe want to tell the world or fight, or so it kind of brings politics a little bit into dance, I think.
Yeah,
which it doesn't have to, because it's going to be very abstract,
I mean, your project all are very reflective on the world around you, which I find is fascinating. It's I don't know, Sophia, how you feel about it, but in classical music world, we're sort of all from the very beginning a little bit stuck in a box, sort of. And it's based a lot on like the way we are educated, because it takes so many years, and you're basically trained to follow rather than change. So I don't know. I was curious how was your way in that path in that? Was it the usual school, or did you go to dancing school, or how did that work out for you? And how does it work for your colleagues who are in your group, the modern dance group, the direct active thing, this group?
Direct action theater, yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, I think for me, like, also, as I said earlier, I'm a dyslexic, so I never been I struggle with words, struggle with writing. I love it, but it's a challenge. So I feel like I have a very much more powerful voice when I'm physical. I feel like it's a way I can have a strong voice.
Yes.
And as I realized also, this is something I can really nerd on. I can also, I can use it because I will dedicate myself to use like this kind of, so which I also think a lot when I think about this, what career project we do with Sanna. Here I can give her a voice, which I find extremely powerful. It's another voice, I guess, and I think we kind of, we take that one. We say that, and it's also feel good, the whole kind of moving, So it's this kind of how you need to do the life.
Really love that approach. I think we should borrow that logic in other parts of arts more, I guess, about finding your voice, and that the voice is there not to only make noises, but to serve a purpose, serve and protect. That's a wonderful concept for arts. Sort of not so kind of popular right now, in a way. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's. I would like to. I can finish up now because I have also this youth dance company.
Yeah.
That I talked a little bit about you, because this is a little bit how I kind of think would be great for everyone to like this kind of getting a voice. Since Fredrikstad wasn't very developed, we have kind of initiate lots of programs. When I was in England, it was lots of youth dance company everywhere. So the youth, could start doing really great things young. And so the opportunity came here to like a different project. And we kind of snapped it and thought, shall we start this youth dance company now? So that's 10 years ago, we started it. And it's a youth dance company. We have managed to get money through the council, and we have been underneath a theater for 10 years. Now we are underneath this Østfold organization for dancer I talked about earlier. So they're kind of giving us a little bit of money to get this running. It's not much, but it's enough to just get this project going. We have 20 dancers in it. We have a edition every year. You don't lose your space, but it's always like a natural moving. So then we can get new people in. But we have like someone that's there, maybe been there a little bit, maybe been there for many years. Since we've done it for 10 years now, we've kind of seen how this kind of work. They're between 13 and 21. So we take them from like high school until finished education, the higher education. You can only allowed to be in the company in higher education if you've gone into dance. If you start to study something else, then we say goodbye when you're 19. This is because we're trying here to make this kind of little space for young dancers to do this thing that we do as professionals, just in their little smaller version. We try to kind of imitate how we rehearse and how we work and the process of making something. And we get professional choreographers to come in and work with this. Also musicians, we had quite used money on live musicians as well. Which is also always great. We divided into kind of three ages. So 13 to 15, you're kind of this, what you call it when you start apprentice almost. And then you learn, you see you see up what's happened, and then from 15 to 19 is college. That's when we see when people maybe start to go into college with dance, So this is like a very main group. They can work a lot. These are like what you see, the good base. And then you have the higher education people, and there are a few. They're normally few, and they started even to travel around. So we bring them back for weekends doing our project. Then we tour around, and because of our money is like we don't like have our own tours. We normally bring us in like curtain raisers from professionals into festivals, into all sorts of places where we can do something. They've also done like joined me for Direct Action Theatre once. They all dressed up in uniform and went around the city for sexual rights, which was beautiful. So we bring them into the professional world, and but also they have their own project. So yeah, and I've seen you guys with your also young kind of project, and yeah, I love this kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
And what is very beautiful is this, is that they get all these contacts before they become even close to professionals, you know. And now a couple of them are already finished, and they work with us at once, because it's just like, hello, and they know everyone, like this beautiful thing that happens here.
Yeah, it's like you're providing the whole, you're leading them the whole way. That's quite amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
Well, it's thank you so much for joining. It's really fun to get an insight in that other field. Very fascinating. I got very intrigued, and I always was a little bit, and I wanted to use the opportunity to ask you maybe a little bit about this activism part, because I find it's very exciting, and it's correct me if I'm wrong. It's like an art form, something on the border of modern art and politics, science, sort of, very often. It's like kind of a bridge you build there. Could you tell a little bit, how do you come up with those ideas for those actions you take? Because
well, they come normally they have to come quite quick, in a way. I mean, we have some artistic kind of style or our way of life, but then again, we move out when things happens. So, for instance, next week we will pop up somewhere.
Okay.
For ICE.
Oh, yeah.
For the and try to do our version of serve and protect the American people.
I hope you're not going to the States for that.
No, we're not. But and then so now we're going to use a few days of planning that. And okay, we'll see what that will happen. What will that become? And then and then it will slowly come back to like the art in the black box. But it's like it comes normally out of like the situation, the politics, what is happening. So, for instance, when we did the Palestine for the dying children, then we had all the police, like we make this kind of bridge, and then you have one on top walking, which was me, as a just like a woman with my child, and the flag and a long red thread representing the blood.
Oh, that's powerful.
And then we just walk through the cities like this. And then, of course, the idea comes from what was this kind of desperate. We were talking, what is the children like, and this, then okay, let's do this. We take the children, and then we have to find some idea around that. So so our art, and also then who can do this? You and you and you. Okay, let's meet. What can we do? So it's like art in action.
Yeah. Do you have to make some kind of arrangements with the authorities, like police? Do you notify them, and how does it work? Like, because you've done some part in Czechia and in Norway, I guess there are some differences in how the authorities react and how the people react. Have you noticed? Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah. I mean, we did outside the Russian embassy in Prague. And then this is kind of how we need to do it, because we are trying to not be activists or protesters in a way, even though we protest. We are going out to make art. So we will let the police know that we are coming, that we're doing a little performance. And sometimes also we can say where we're going, because sometimes that's very important. But in this case, they knew that Prague would have some that it will happen. So, but when we came to the embassy, we got followed of lots of, and slowly we realized they're following us now. So we decided to stop and find a place and stop and to get dressed in a way. And then slowly the police came after there were like some discussion, and then they come and arrest us. And then we say what we are doing. And in this case, they said, okay, but you are on the wrong entrance now, because it's the best place to do the demonstration is on the other side. And they're watching our Instagram and going, boop, boop, boop. And then they followed us and helped us.
They go in the positive. Yeah, that's great police.
Yeah, and this is kind of, because in the start of this project, this is what made me a bit nervous. Yeah. Because like, I'm not naive either, and I don't want to be this kind of, like, I don't want to push boundaries, so I can't do this. It's very important. And if we are part of a group, like we have worked with Extinction Rebellion a few times, where we have done things together.
What is that?
And
can
Extinction Rebellion is like a European-based organization for environmental courses, and they are based all over. So they have like, I don't know if you've seen these red people that walks very, very slowly, with blood on the, that's Extinction Rebellion. They do loads of different things, but they dress sometimes like this. It's kind of morning walk they do around. And of course, they have other boundaries than us. Because when you do that, if you go into a demonstration, you have green, yellow, red. Like green is like, I'm not gonna get arrested. I'm just gonna keep the distance and do like be civil behavior, civil. Yeah. And then you have the yellow, and then it's like you're pushing a little bit, but you're gonna, And then you have the red, and then it's like you don't care if you get arrested. This is how the protester works. They have a system on this, which I didn't know, but now I know.
Okay.
So, and when we work with them, it's like we have to know before we go out where are we?
Yeah.
And we are always green.
Yeah, I
always green, because we are doing art.
Very, very interesting. But
wow, this is so interesting to hear about this fine line.
Yeah, right. It's like totally. But isn't the whole idea of activism a little bit that you push the border, push the line? Isn't that the whole thing, that you have to somehow inflate the reaction, which is a point of art, in my opinion. When I play a concert, I wanna inflate the reaction in the audience, and it just happens so that sometimes. I mean, what kind of reaction can you inflate with performing Bach is one thing, and what reaction and how strong reaction you can inflate with doing activism is a totally different kind of scale of emotions, I guess. So how do you balance that with not pushing not crossing the line, but still pushing the boundary? Or has it ever happened?
Differently, because it's like if you go outside an embassy, you're kind of allowed to do that, but not necessarily project gay rights on the whole embassy, which is things that we've done. So like like one example I talked about, the Polish embassy, we had a huge rainbow on the whole of their embassy. And of course, that is not popular.
Did you paint it, or it was projected?
No, we project it. We bring projection with us a bit and blast up faces. And that is not, we have not asked for that. We have said that we're coming, and then we go, and then we make sure we take picture, and then maybe 10 seconds later it's over. And then we use this in media, because then when we bring it into media, that's very strong. So then we go for a picture, almost. We go there just to make that, quick, so we can then post, then, make that ball roll in a different way. So that's like a little bit of pushing boundaries, I would say. Or this kind of, we don't, over-explain where we're coming. We're trying to be as less information as possible. But
there was this one action, I believe it was activism, which I loved a lot. It was, I think, in the beginning of the war, and it was a protest in front of the Russian embassy in London, where the protesters or activists, they poured, I don't know, maybe 50 liters of paint, blue and yellow, on the street. I don't know, maybe you've seen it. And then the cars, by passing those, they were, all mudded in this plane, and they naturally kind of draw two big blue and yellow lines, the colors of the Ukrainian flag, on the road. And I was like, always, it's an amazing idea because it's kind of happening naturally, and then people are getting involved, but at the same time their cars are all painted in this color, and they didn't, they were not asked if they want to participate, sort of. I mean, the paint was it was like eatable paint, so it was like a very light, no hazard at all, but still, their cars were covered in, and the street was covered in. So I'm like curious if that was like red or it was yellow, because people were sort of not asked for concern doing it. The picture was fantastic and the whole action was great, but I was curious, maybe some, it might be like a mother of a 5-child driving somewhere home to work, and then instead of chilling a bit, she'll have to wash her car. So I don't know. But how do you think
this is the fine balance, isn't it? And I think, like, we know so well, like, if you're not strong, you won't get anything out. So I think for us, we're using this riot suit gear as our like strong, because when we come, people react immediately, and it's actually quite scary,
Riot because it's like what policemen.
It's like the police wear when it's a huge demonstration. Then they come with helmet, the all this gear. They have the shield, they have the baton. And this is our costume. So when we come, it's very strong. So we also have to work on this we work a little bit on humor as well, to make it possible for us to work, to not get into too much trouble as we go. So we can do silly things like running with each other's hand, skipping down the street to get to where we're going, to not get too much interference as we go, but also think, this is kind of off. So we create this kind of off picture. You've seen it before, but it's different, and it's, this is scary. No, it's not scary. What are they doing? Oh, they're snogging, like, or with rainbows things on, or they're like, we do sometimes jump around with flowers when we doing environmental course. So sometimes we can be quite pompous and but make sure we are places that we create like we do quite a lot of falling for the environment. And like last time we were in Ostrava in Czechia, now it was a huge shopping mall, glossy, everything is marmor, shiny, and there we come. And it's a huge staircase there, I don't know, 50 meters broad. We came there, stood on the top, and then with our banners, and then we're falling for the environment. So we fall down the stairs because we are in right gear, so we can fall quite. So this is one of our specialities, is falling downstairs. And then, so then we kind of interfere in people's life. We come where they feel comfortable and they're up shopping, and then suddenly they get this kind of, So trying to flip without, so the boundaries.
Wanted to ask you also about the economic side of it. Can activism be commercialized? How is that working? Is this all like on a voluntary basis, or you actually can get some funding for it?
Well, I think we had 3 years of funding from the Art Council in the start of this project, that managed to finance quite a lot of these things actually.
Mm.
You know, so, and we are also like, now since we are getting into we started in 2020, so we are building us up, so we are keeping like constantly applying for new opportunities. I think, but a few of these are not paid.
Mm.
But it creates our art and our future. So both in like the politics, but also if you think about like strategic way of thinking as an artist, also you need to have something stronger. So then we can kind of bring, as I said, we can bring it back into the theater and keep pushing it. So it creates also some kind of platform for us to work in. And hopefully an exciting one that will make our work constantly be relevant. So we will keep giving opportunities to perform more, you know. So it's this kind of fine balance of what you push into your art to make sure it survives. And also this, of course, as you hear, this is something I probably would have done anyway. So it's like this also, when you find your mission, it feels also very good.
Mm. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, I was just sometimes when you hear about those Banksy paintings, which I also think are partly activism because it's very reactive to what's happening around, right? And the way he does it, and that those paintings are being sold for, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet he is not being paid anything for it, right? Because he is keeping his anonymity. So it kind of raises interesting question of the value of the art and what is art and everything. So it was just very interesting to hear your take on it. Sophia, do you have anything you wanted to ask Helen before we move on?
It's so interesting to hear about all this activism and about the fine line, and how you kind of bring this into the art form, and it's very interesting to hear about. And but you started out also talking about the collaborations between artists, and I would maybe like to hear more how you feel collaborating with, I don't know, musicians or other art forms, because you also said you do that, and how you feel, because it's always interesting to hear how people kind of feel with the collaborations, because we work so differently, especially maybe actors and musicians, but also dancers. We have like always very different approach to projects and how we start and how we work, and I would just love to hear some thoughts about that, or some from your perspective.
I mean, first I would just say just this thing with this theater group, Direct Action Theater, we are so many. We also do warm-up every single time, because I think the dancers are involved in this. And it's always interesting to hear like this kind of, oh, you dancers are so social, we're going to start moving together on the floor. Like we connect so well. And this project where everyone do warm up together is something very beautiful about it. Sometimes you have to do voice, and sometimes, but like this kind of, everyone has to kind of touch each other's world. But I think for me, it's like, I'm a dancer, but this feeling of just be with dancer is not my kind of, I get more inspired almost of others. Like a painting can inspire me more to create things than watching dance. Or like the musicians, for me, it makes me move. I love like when I work with musicians, if we can start in the studio together, vulnerable together, I find that is the most exciting. If I because I'm a contemporary dancer, like the whole improvisation is a huge part of me. I improvise on stage, I improvise, like this is just I love it. So to be able to find this security where we can search in music and dance movements in the room together. That's always fascinated me, but also just this kind of, when you make art, I need dancers to kind of do it. I can also use them as a creative tool, like we can make it things together. But it's always this future vision, isn't it? I want sound, and then they have, and some video, and then so very fast, like the artistic hub, we are normally from different places to make a whole. If my ideal thing is like, if that group is from the beginning set, so the choreographer not normally come like, I have finished, I need music that is like this. That is not as fun, I think. So I try always. So I don't know. So it's something, if that answered a little bit, Sophia.
Yeah, so you really enjoy having the process together in a way.
The process is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice thought.
I also wanted to talk a little bit more about the pedagogical aspect of what you do, because it just, I mean, the best thing, I love listening, and I can listen for hours, is the proud teachers, you know, and the way you talked about Sanna and described how is she developing and everything, I like, you know, it's reaching deep here. And so I just wanted to to ask you more a little bit about your pedagogical activities. So you're teaching in Fredrikstad Kulturskole, and from what age do you start there? Is it like anyone can come and any age? And I don't mean like kids, I understand, but what if it's a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old kid? Can you? Do you take them?
Yeah. I mean, for me, the whole kind of teaching to tell, like, I thought I'd never become a teacher. Because
so.
And also being a dyslexic at school, I was like, it's not always the favorite of the class. You couldn't sit still, you know, so all these kind of things. I thought, like, teachers, that's a different kind of, like, I can't relate to this. And then, you do your education and stuff, and some teaching came to me, like, and I thought, came to Norway, and I thought, okay, maybe it's a nice space to have a little bit of this. And then I realized that this is like, this is a human task. This is like, and also this kind of confidence of my the dance in itself. I realized quite quickly, like, I've learned a lot. Right, I have loads to offer here. So I love it, actually. This kind of, it makes me grounded. It makes me understand what I have a little, and it also brings kind of dance this out to the community that is around me. So you kind of, this sort of thing of contributing feels quite good. And I think, like, I don't know, my pedagogic approach is, I always, as a contemporary dancer, I always try to give them a strength in technical, you know, just the technical thing. But then in the improvisation, trying to get them to find their way of expressing. And in this is a little bit vulnerable, and sometimes I say to them, maybe we're lucky we're not doing jazz now, because we do all these things and we need to talk about it. And so sometimes with this emotional journey, we need to talk about it and stuff. So I think I try to give them it as pleasure, but also as a mental health tool, which I find quite important in this, because I know so many people are not going to dance the whole life. So just to be able to get this beautiful tool, so you can dance when you feel great, dance when you feel shit.
Do you one of those people who think that the dancing should be one of the obligatory subjects at school? That everyone should have that?
To dance a little bit every morning, maybe. Absolutely. I think dances should be there every day in school.
I agree 100%. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. I think we'll move on, and I hope you're staying with us. We'll chat a little bit with Sophia here, and we know each other for quite a while. It seemed like, Sophia. We studied together at least 2 universities at the same time.
Yeah.
Without the second time in Stockholm, I wasn't really aware, but that's because you were in Esberg. Sophia, could you tell us about what you do, who you are, and about your quartet?
Yes. So, as you already said, I'm a cellist. I grew up in the countryside, like 1 hour outside of Oslo, and there was not very much music there. So I had to travel very far when I started with my cello lessons. So I guess it kind of helped me in a way to become serious quite quick into it, because there was a lot like traveling and it took so much time. So I thought, okay, I'll do this fully. So I committed to it quite early, and then I studied in Oslo my bachelor's degree at the Norwegian Academy of Music, and then I did just start my master in Esberg in Stockholm, and then the pandemic came and the whole thing kind of blew up. But
did you finish it, or did you finish?
I finished it. No. So I did my.
Nobody finishes Stockholm Academy of Music. It's impossible.
That's why I also feel kind of good about not finishing it, because I'm not the only one. No. I never finished it, no. But I then did the master's in Oslo. So I have my master's now from the academy here in Oslo then. And after that, I just started, I mean, as it is with us classical musicians, we often just start working, and at the time when we are done with our studies, we already are kind of in the loop. And I was starting as a freelancer, and I still am. So for the last 4 years or what? 3-4 years, I have been freelancing, and with a lot of different projects. And of course, I'm trained classically, so I do play in all the orchestras and all of that stuff. And then I also have my own projects, which are different kind of things. And today I'm talking about one of the project, which is Scandi Strings. So I'll just say very quick that I also have another quartet. We do music by female composers.
I mean, you should be talking about all your projects. We have all the time in the world, Sophia, and that's very exciting, very interesting.
I think I'll just start out with the Scandi, and then we can. Yeah. But so just to have a little overview, then I have one ensemble. We have a concert series, and we played actually together for the whole time when we studied in Oslo. So we've been playing for like 10 years, and we made this concert series that is focusing on compositions and music by female composers, which was at that time not so. When we started, it wasn't that. Normal actually here in Norway. I mean, Norway is very far behind that subject. So I feel when we started, it was really not even almost not the topic, No. And of course it has now, the later years, it has developed a lot. So it's really nice to see. Now it's very common to program female composers, and it's not even that big of a topic anymore, which is very good. And I think we also helped a little.
Yeah. For sure.
With that, maybe. I hope so. Yeah, but we play, and we focus a lot on also bringing together the different art, or not art, but the different music forms in one concert. So we always, when we program a concert, we always have the classical part, and then we always invite someone who is up and coming, maybe jazz or folk musician or electronics, or it could be anything. So we always kind of pair up the concert with the two different styles. So that's the Fram Konsertserie.
Mhm.
And then I have a youth orchestra, which I lead. Yeah, I would not say conduct because I can't conduct.
Do, of course.
I lead them. It's called Romus. It's based in Lillestrøm, right outside of Oslo.
Mhm.
So it's a string youth orchestra. They are very, very nice children and youth. Yeah, and we play, all different kinds of concerts. So that's kind of where I do my teaching part.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is
And
it like
then
a part of school, or it's just itself?
it's an extra
An extra, yeah.
feature they do. Yeah.
Mm.
It's
For
also it's not a part of Kulturskolen. It's kind of an
itself. Yeah, cool. We're having a lot of that in Østfold this weekend, so maybe we can do something in there.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's cool. Yep.
Come together and yeah.
Yeah. Lillestrøm. Okay, it's a bit there, but we'll see. Yeah.
I think
And
they were before. I've only been there for like 1.5 years or 2 years, but before before me, I know they were in Moss and had a collaboration, I think.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's possible.
I mean, it's very close. I mean, we
Yeah.
shouldn't be complaining here with our distances.
No, not
30
at
minutes
all.
with the train and you're there. No problem.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
And then there's this other quartet, which is Scandi Strings, and we kind of developed in during the pandemic, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we somehow found each other. We are 4-string players, so it's a string quartet, but we don't do like the usual classical string quartet form. We are all classically educated and trained, so it consists of Damon. He's in Sweden working in the opera, and then we have Daniel, who is working here in Oslo in the radio orchestra. And then it's me, and then Sara. She's also freelance violinist. So she's kind of the head and the mastermind behind the whole project. And I'm kind of her co-support, organizer. So the thing with this quartet is I find we have had a lot of fun developing it because it's different than, as I said, different than the usual classical quartet. And we mainly do like event stuff. And the event world is, I mean, you can talk about that also forever.
That's very fun. That's what we're going to be talking about. But I just wanted to say a couple of words for those who are watching it for the first time, because it's kind of shocking and cool, in a cool way shocking what you're doing, right? Because you're doing all those huge bangers from, I don't know, if you open Spotify into some beat techno electro. That's basically the repertoire you do. Like I saw this clip of you doing this, what I don't know what it's called, My French Sucks, but this very famous French song turned into
À la danse, maybe.
That one, and also the newer, more recent.
The Ella.
Yeah, that one. Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of really cool and really great, and nice to see strings there. So it's just very interesting, and I hope that maybe that little input will just put the people who are listening into understanding of what we're talking about. And of course, we will put the links below so that everyone can check it out and so they understand better what you're talking about. Yes.
So this is kind of, it's been like our playground, this project with Scandi Strings, because we play. If you play in events, you usually are very tied up to what they want to hear. It's these huge collaborate events, often inviting some artists to play as entertainment, right? And usually you can feel a bit like not so great about always just playing what they want to hear. And it's not very a place where you feel like you can express yourself as an artist. And that's also why many people don't do events, and I can totally understand it. But for us, we kind of found a way to do it our way, and to do it and still feel like we have something to contribute with. And that's what is very fun about this, I think. So as you said, it's often about they want to hear bangers or songs that they know or that they've heard a lot of times, or that are a bit party songs, a bit upbeat. And then we thought, okay, but we just don't want to be standing and just playing that all night long. So we developed our own songs where we kind of mash up this known hits with classical music in a way. So it means we make our own, we make our own sheets, and we make our own tracks and everything. So it becomes our songs in a way, and it feels more personal to show it off then. And in that way, we found that it was very fun to play, because we could kind of integrate all the classical training that we all have into this event world. And it's very fun because we find that actually when we show them something that we have made, or that we have been thinking, okay, this is a cool idea, we want to present this to you, instead of only like them picking something they always pick, they actually find it so cool, and it's always very what's it called, like welcome, godt tatt imot.
I think you said good enough. Everyone gets it.
So that's kind of a fun way to see like how we can bring the string quartet into this event and very commercialized world, actually. How we can do it our way and still be playing our classical things, just into that, and then making it a fun way. So it's really like a playground for us.
Do you do the electronics yourself, like all the arrangements, or do you collaborate with composers? You do it yourself?
We do mostly with everything ourselves. Fascinating. And sometimes if we have to track something or play it, and we get help in the studio with someone who can record, but mostly we do everything ourselves, and we also always have the work with visuals.
That's what was my next question, because it seems like it's very important. Who is doing all the video light stuff?
Sarah is making all the visuals.
Who does? Sarah. Oh, she's very pro.
Pro, she is. She's very creative. So she makes all the visuals, and also most of the song kind of mashups, how they integrate into another. And the visuals are I think it's an important part of our image in that quartet, because it kind of makes a whole out of only the song would be, could be a bit boring, but then when you have the visuals, you kind of make a world and you make a universe that you want to invite the people into.
Yeah.
And I feel with every song we kind of make a universe. So we have this, here is this kind of universe and here is this kind of and with that we also it's important what kind of clothes we wear and kind of try to match this to the whole song universe in a way.
Yeah, it looks super professional and super cool. And while you were talking about the visuals, I had this idea in my head all the time, because it's a conversation I often have had with my students when I was teaching, that the way you appear on stage is very important, simply because the human brain is working this way, that we perceive 70% of information about the world by our eyes, unfortunately, not ears. So it is very important. In this way, Ellen, the thing you're doing is much more communicative, right? Because people see it. And that's why it was always so strange to me when I got a bit more old. Why, while we are studying music, we are talking so little about how we actually look and are being perceived visually. Because it's just simple biology and physics. This is how our brain works. 70% of information, and only 10 or 20 for the ears, and even less for the other feelings, senses. So it's kind of very, very interesting. And I mean, for thing you're doing, Sophia, it seemed like the media presentation is even more important. I checked your Instagram. That looks really fantastic. Can you say a little bit about what you had to learn, if you had to learn, since you graduated, to be able to enter that professional world?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mostly about having kind of a vision of how you want it to be conceived. Just like, and just staying true to your own vision. And it's very, I mean, yeah, we do have kind of a quite strict line throughout the whole, with the clothes, with the how the music is made and how the visuals look and how we kind of appear on stage. It should align in a way.
Yeah, I would almost say that you guys are actually doing choreography on stage in a certain way.
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Your performance is choreographed. You're standing a certain way. You are performing a certain way. That's not something they teach you in NMH, in the Norwegian Academy of Music. I guess.
No, it's not.
That's my question. Like, what's your take on that? Is it supposed to be a part of education, maybe?
I don't know how it just. I don't know. It just became that. It just appeared in a way. I think. I mean, as I said, Sara is so creative, and most of the things appear from her ideas. And when she has a very clear vision about how she sees, okay, I think we should look like this, and it's almost like a fashion show, You have this vision and you want it to be like that, and you want that people would sit with this or this feeling, and then you kind of make the show in there. And I didn't learn it anyway. She didn't learn it anyway. I don't know. We just kind of on our way, and also with working a lot on this kind of performances, you learn on the way, and yeah.
Yeah, I must say that the strings and the string quartet, its aura of being kind of elitar and something not for everyone and something very fancy, kind of slips very naturally into this. I don't know what to say it. How did you put it? The aesthetics of your Instagram, which is a little bit like snobbish, a little bit not.
Yeah.
A little bit expensive. A little bit like fashion. Fashion, exactly, fashionable.
We always say fashion. It has to be fashion.
It's really cool. Yeah, really nice. Very interesting sense and emotion you're transcending through simply your Instagram. It's very fascinating. Very, very interesting to talk about.
Yeah, thank you. It's as I said, I think it's just it's really important to just stay and stick to the ideas and do them like throughout every single step of the process. And if we do that, we get the kind of the result we want.
David, have you ever thought of making a performance with a live string quartet?
Yeah, but when I hear this, it's like I'm just thinking it must make you feel a bit stronger in this kind of package of, because you're talking about it, which I find it very lovely, you know, and for me, as I'm very visual as well, it's like then it's a, you know, you go and see something, you always feel like you want a different layer than you get when you can listen to it at home, like. So does it make you, give you more confident in performing to do it like this?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question, actually, because it does. I mean, the simple answer is yes. It gives a lot more confidence, and we also play everything by heart always. So, and I think it feels then more like acting on stage in a way. So by having this very clear vision and role for who we want to be on stage and on Instagram, and I mean, it's an image. It's not who I am every day, but it's our image in that quartet. And by having this image, as you say, it's kind of protective also, and easier to just slip into the role and perform in that way. It gives more confidence, yeah, I would say.
Very interesting. Do you think, I never thought of that, but do you think those big, huge soloists in classical music world, do you think they also have this sort of alter ego and that they are different on stage than they are in live? I've never thought of that, but they being
Maybe.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you noticed if that activity of yours, these things you're doing with Scandi strings, affected your classical performance when you were playing a recital or something?
It's also actually a very interesting question, and I reflected on it recently because I was like, yeah, it has definitely changed my I would not say how I play or how I do like other concerts, but it has strengthened how I feel on stage. Because we often play for huge crowds, like events is often many thousand people. It could be in one, or it can be 50, but it can be many thousand also. And just coming from a stage where you kind of have to play all this theatrical almost things in front of so many thousand people, and then getting back to a intimate recital, I kind of bring some of that feeling back to my solo performance. Or it's, I would say it's a confidence, yeah, like I know I can do it in front of so many people. I can do it here.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Could you
It
share...
has definitely it's been positive, yeah.
Could you share maybe some of the brightest gigs you had with this kind of strings? Maybe the funnest experience, not the craziest. That's the next question, but like the funnest experience.
The funnest, yeah. Let me the funnest. I mean, we did one during Tour de France in Bordeaux. That was really fun. I think it was for Uno-X, the Norwegian team, where we were like in a vineyard, and then it was just this. It was a quite small crowd, actually. That was not the biggest crowd, but it was just such a great atmosphere. France in the midsummer, middle of the night, like warm, and it had just been a thunderstorm, so we didn't know if we even were able to play outside. Wow. And then we played a lot of our songs, and also the one you mentioned earlier, the French French song, which we have kind of blended with the Ravel quartet. Yeah, so it's a it's a fun song, and yeah, that was a great experience. But then I would also say I think I don't even remember where it was, but it was one of these huge ones where there were just so many thousand people. And these people are often people who just come to a conference, and they never ask about hearing this. They're not. It's not like going to a concert. They just eat their dinner and then they're presented with some music, and they never asked for it. But then to play this music that we have decided that would fit perfectly here to this crowd, and then to get that reaction back that they're really loving it, it's just it's so nice, because they never asked for it, but then still they love it, and then we feel like we kind of did a good thing, even if it's event. Yeah.
And then was there any weirdest experience? Because I guess you play a lot for private parties and stuff like that. Was there something that didn't feel that was just fun but in a negative way?
I mean, there are very many stories, but
you don't need to name the
we
companies.
could go on forever. But there was this one. It was very fun, but could have gone very wrong. So we were supposed to play for Lyko. It's makeup.
I think they're Swedish. Maybe not.
Yeah, probably, yeah. And they just opened the store in Oslo before, and then we were supposed to play at their Halloween party, because every year they invite all their influencers and their members to a Halloween party in the store. And then we came there and we were supposed to play a lot of different things, and then in the beginning we just played creepy music, and it was all classical music. And that was also a great experience in the beginning, because all these influencers, they probably never heard classical music, but we played Shostakovich and scary music things, and they thought it was so cool because they had never heard anything of that. So it started out very well, and then at the end suddenly they asked us to perform in a staircase, and to be like a quartet standing in a stair with it wasn't that much space, actually. The steps, they were very small, and doing the Vivaldi, and with the cello, you can imagine where it was not the best place to stand, but we were just okay. Yeah, there's no other place. They really want us to be in the stairs, so we were like, okay, yeah, maybe we just have to do it. And then and then we were supposed to play the Vivaldi Four Seasons, the Winter, which is a very known piece, but it's also it's a lot for the violin.
It's virtuoso, kind of.
It's virtuoso. So to be standing on high heels on a small step and then playing this, and also us very apart, because we have to hear each other.
Yeah, you play acoustic everything, or do you do some?
Sometimes we play acoustic, but sometimes we play also with the track, and then to be on the track, exactly on the track, you have to actually have click, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't have click there, so it ended up like us playing on the track in the stairs, and it went very well, but it could have been a nightmare. So and it's a lot of this kind of things that.
Have you ever happened to say no? Because in the industry you're working, it seemed like the wish of the client is the law. But have you ever happened to actually say that here we have to actually do this and this and this and this way because it just won't work otherwise?
Yes, of course we have. Yeah, it's a lot of times you have to say no because they have crazy ideas.
What was the craziest idea?
Oh, I don't
Good
even
couple,
remember,
maybe not.
but it's probably it's often just things that they have ideas and we think it's just never gonna work, you know, like putting us super far away from each other in a giant room, or even like, I don't know, flying in a like a belt thing, or you know, it could be so stupid things they ask about, and like, no, it's not gonna happen. But then we're kind of back at what I was talking about earlier, that I feel we have developed a kind of good sense about what would fit to each event, what music and what act, I would call it act, would fit to this people or to this event here, or and we try really hard to stay true to what we think, even though we also have to please the customers, of course. But yeah, it's mostly we gain by staying true to what our idea is and pursuing that, because 99% of the times it's what works best. Yeah. And it's what they also like the best. So
Cool.
yeah.
Super fascinating. The Ellen, if you don't want to ask anything about the string,
Yeah.
strings.
No, yeah, I'm actually. Well, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Because when I hear, because this it fascinates me, because I love that you kind of make this world, yeah, and I think this is something musician maybe can benefit of daring, huh? And I can hear like, and I can understand it. It's like not much in the education for this. If you don't go like suddenly like musical theater or something, but then you can't nerd in your, you know, classical instrument and all that. And you know, you need so much practice. I know this. So I think you are doing something great, and also managed to get this classical into a commercial way of setting, which I find very exciting. But I'm wondering, because I'm not sure how many years you've been doing this project, but it seems like you have something going here. It's very successful. And then I'm thinking, because I hear all these crazy ideas and and I can see that, you know, because these events are looking different, and I would think like that at once. I could hear it, like when you say, I'm like, get all excited. Oh, I would love to have you here or there, or, you know, this kind of. So I can totally understand it. But what I want to ask you is like, have you ever considered or ever done like bringing someone else into to build this even further, like some other artists, or or
Yeah.
We're talking collaborations now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as a future kind of wish, or this kind of
Yeah.
curious, because
we that's a good question. And yeah, I would just say we have been doing this for 6 years now, since the pandemic. So yeah. We do actually have collaborated with different people, and we are still developing a lot of things. So we have a collaboration with the dancer. She's also a modern dancer, actually. Yeah.
great.
And it's been really fun. We haven't had the time to do so much yet, but we are in the process. And it has been very fun working with her, because she brought in a lot of more other view to how to make the performance for us, and taught us also about more, you know, storytelling and how to have a line throughout the whole performance, and to combine this movement and music, and that I think is really fun and something we could gain a lot from. So that's our dance, and then we have, of course, with other musicians. I mean, like singers. We have played a lot with singers or with DJs who do like different sets in between. So yeah, but I think the dance part is maybe the one I'm most excited about because it fits also into this universe that we are creating in a way. Yeah.
She can fly for you.
Yeah, she can fly. No, but I understand that people have so many good ideas about how we could. But the thing is, we are always most. I mean, it all comes down to that we want to have quality in what we do.
Yeah.
And we have to play good. So if it's we can't compromise on that. So that's always what it comes down to. If we feel like we would not play good enough in this setting or up there or something, then we can't do it. So that's just the bottom line, that we are very concerned about, that the quality has to be like, we want to play good. I mean, we are good string players. We don't want to just
I guess that's where your what is the word, that you're saving your kind of identity by insisting
integrity,
that you're
maybe.
performing
Yeah.
live. Yeah. It's fascinating and really, really cool to hear. Because I mean, the easiest solution would be to just switch to phonogram, to completely record and just pretend, and then you are in Ellen's business in performing through dance, basically.
Yeah.
Instruments.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But no, it has to be, and we want to keep a kind of some challenge, and it has to be fun for us. I mean, we wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. This is a lot of work also to make all this, just to make a visual. It takes many days or weeks. I don't know. It's a lot of work, so it has to be for us as a group. Also, I mean, we all have other jobs, and it has to be like it's for us the fun project that we really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably sounding very funny from the side, but just to play the winter from the seasons by Vivaldi, that's a virtuoso piece. That takes I don't know how many thousands of hours to learn it to perfection. That it sounds the way people are used to hear it, just because and then you do this extra, and that's really exciting.
And I think it also, I mean, now that we're talking about quality, and I think it always shows, I've always been very true to that thought that if you really have put time into something, and I mean, it could be anything, but if you had put time into it and practice and energy, then it will show. And that's also, I mean, maybe some people will think what we do is ridiculous, or that I mean, we get a lot of comments, but I'm very confident that if we feel like we've put time into this and it's quality and it's something we can kind of be proud of, then it will be good, and people will notice that it's something different. It's good. So that's where the confidence lies, kind of.
Yes. I wanted to ask a couple of questions about Fram and your series where you were promoting female composers, and I remember very well when you started, because I think I saw it on Instagram or somewhere when I was very excited. As you said, it was quite new at the time. After that, it became sort of a mainstream. And now if you come to Philharmonic concert here in Stockholm, I think they have kind of a policy. My feeling is it's either a modern piece or a female composer piece. Yeah, you stuck a bit, Sophia, I think. Now you unstuck. Yes, very good.
Oh, great.
So, can you tell a little bit how the idea appeared, how the idea developed, and what you think about the outcome? How are things with female composers and them being performed today?
Yeah, I think the idea appeared when we were studying, and we were playing together as this piano quartet throughout our studies. And when we kind of ended our studies together after the masters, we were like, it's kind of weird that we haven't played any piece by a female composer throughout our 6, 7, 8 years here at this school. And started reflecting on that it was just strange that we couldn't even name a composer, and then led us to starting to look into this, and we found so many great pieces, and then we started to play, and then quite quickly after that we came up. I mean, it was Edel who was the pianist. It was her idea in the beginning, actually, to make this concert series.
So it was like a series of concerts. How many concerts was it in total? Do you remember? Through the year?
I mean, maybe 12 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you performed all kind of periods of music.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was over several years, and we still making the concerts. It's just not as often. So if we have like a good project, we make them. So the series is still alive, I would say. Yeah, so we just started out with I think our first concert we played piano quintet by Gubardulina. And then that was kind of our kick off into this world, and where, as if you start to look, you just find more and more, and we discovered so much nice music. And then as we played a lot of the older music, then we also discovered a lot of contemporary composers that not necessarily write, the pling plong, or we found really, really nice pieces that we enjoyed playing. So yeah, and then it just developed, and we always invited, as I said before, other artists to join in our concerts, just to make it a bit more about also promoting new female artists also. And then we played a lot as a quartet also, then concerts around, and now, I mean, it has shifted a bit because it's so much more common or normalized to play the female composer music. So it's not like now we are maybe thinking more about how to find the music that we really like to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating, and it's also very nice to provide a story to it. I also like our last concert we did in Fredrikstad, actually, where we performed Mahler piano quartet, but completed. We ordered the last movements to be written.
Yeah,
and
nice.
We needed to fill the concert with some stuff, and we were having different approaches, and Emma Alriksson, our violist, she just happened to play Rebecca Clark's viola sonata. It's a fantastic music, very beautiful piece. And then she told me that fantastic story that Rebecca Clark actually was competing in the competition with that work. And it later was found that the jury members, which were only men, thought that this piece was the best. But when they found out that, because it was anonymous competition, so they didn't know who wrote the pieces. And then they somehow found out that it was Rebecca Clark, and they wouldn't believe that she did it herself. And therefore, they decided to give the prize to a man. And the story like leaked out many years, and it wasn't so long time ago. It was like 20th century already, like
Yeah.
middle 20th century. Story is fascinating, and it was just so. It feels so great to be able to tell that story. Also because in our concert, one movement we performed was also a competition piece, and it's just really interesting to bring those parallels, how things shouldn't be and how things are getting, and it's just. And the music is fantastic. I have to say that we chose that just because the music is fantastic.
Yeah.
And my next question, therefore, is because I have to be a little bit provocative. Since I'm moderating a podcast thing, but I wanted to hear your opinion. How do you feel about when this concept of bringing justice to female composers in the past is starting to kind of being used in a kind of commercialized way, in a way, as I mentioned before, like the Philharmonie here feels they just very formally, my feeling, okay, I'm subjective, choosing a female composer or a modern composer just because it kind of fits their I don't like word agenda, that's so spoiled lately, but still, and I feel very often coming there that somehow artistic value very often kind of replaced by political value, which I'm just curious about. What is your take on that? Which you think is the more important? And yeah, what do you think about?
Yeah, I mean, it's also a fine line because you kind of need the one of them to have the another.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you need the agenda to even get to the point where you can perform it, you know. But at this point where we are now, I don't think. I feel it should be about what is a great piece or what is good music, and we are kind of.
We
I
arrived
think
there.
we should.
We arrived to that point. You think?
I think
Norway,
maybe
in Norway.
yes, we should at least, maybe we haven't arrived, but we should think that we have, so that we can start to approach it not in a way that we have to put in here a female composer, but just to get it equal with. It should be a great piece. We shouldn't even be thinking about if it's a female or a male. I mean, who cares? It shouldn't be divided up like that. It should just be very natural, put in the program if it's a good piece or not. I mean, yeah.
Very cool.
So, but this is also, I mean,
yeah, I totally
it's a topic you can discuss a lot.
Balanced. Yeah. But it's nice to see that things are changing, at least in this field. And
I think they are, and especially the last years, it has really changed a lot. So it's great. Yeah.
Can I also ask you? It's since this whole situation with female composers and the story I just told kind of reflects, I guess, like historically a problematic. That it reflects sort of that for women in the classical musical industry, it was always a little bit different than for men in the same industry. Being a man, I want to ask you, how does it feel now? Do you feel, is there any challenges in the classical musical world you experience on yourself?
That's
something you want.
The hard question. I mean,
yeah.
Because for me personally, I don't feel like that, but then I know some people do, so I don't want to like talk on behalf of everyone. But for me, it's it's quite what's it called? Egalt.
Equal? No.
Yeah, equal. Yeah.
Okay. Ellen, do you, what is your take on that? Is this a problem in the dancing industry?
I think it's strange in a way how it also kind of sneaks in everywhere, I find. So it's like, I think it's better, like Sophia says, like we are moving forward, but also I think it's, I find it sometimes fascinating how a dance world, which is so many women, we are fighting so hard to get the men, which is or ever again. We try to get more men into dance, but then if you look at the general choreographers, more men than girls.
It's the same tendency in the classical music world. I remember when I was studying, like school studying, there were almost no violinist guys. There were only girls. And then when the further you go, and also the top positions, I'm very happy to see though that in Norway it's not at all like that. It's very many women on like leading positions, like in the field and other places. I'm sorry interrupting you. Sorry. Yes.
No, but it's exactly that. Like this kind of the head. The top jobs, or the more where you get the most credit, is like this is maybe where I feel like we still have a way to go. So in equality, and I think like our field in art, like general, is lots of people that really believes in equality. So we are like a group that might be quite strong in other places, like other work areas. So that's a good thing, and it makes us to be able to, you know, like you're saying, Sophia, now you feel like loads of, it's more normal to see composers. But that would never happen if you guys didn't do it.
Exactly.
So you're building and opening up doors for people behind you. And in some way we should just keep doing this. But I love, like, if we can put art as like this kind of, what you say, quality, what fits, if that is the agenda all the time. I really agree with that as well, because that is how it should be. But then again, we have to kind of mix of allowing like us to not fight when we work, like, because that's very good, but also to not we have to also remind ourselves, like we have girls coming behind us, or or men, how are they going to deal with each other, how are they going to from the beginning be equal. So,
yeah, we're kind of back on the art and the political agenda here. Like I feel this is
like activism we started with.
Right,
we completed the circle. But that's isn't that the whole thing of like doing arts? I feel very often, the older I get, the more I have this perception of arts, is that the only reason we are doing that, because there is, if you would be worried about money, we are definitely in the wrong business. The only reason we are in the arts is because it kind of gives you access to touch the others, to touch the souls of the others, and to promote certain ideas. I really, lately I'm getting more into like standing for truth rather than standing for something that's good, something that maybe is not the truth right now, but should be somewhere we go. And in this sense, it's like I very resonate with both the ideas behind activism and also an ideas behind Fram as an idea of making the balance balanced. Yeah, so it's just very fascinating. I would move to the last topic and question to Sophia, and that's your teaching practices and your orchestra. If you could just say a couple of words about your orchestra and what you have gained by entering that teaching, wouldn't say industry teaching. Well, you know what I mean. Becoming a teacher is kind of a thing that changes you as a performer, I guess. At least that's how I felt. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's the orchestra, youth orchestra. We are 15, I think, so it's not that many string players. It's quite small, and we don't meet like every week. It's more project based, or we meet one weekend in a month, or so it's a bit more spread out, like projects. But I mean, I have gained a lot from from having this group, because it reflects on, or when you have to teach someone else, you have to reflect on what you want to be the outcome, of course. And it just raises a lot of thought and consciousness about also the next generation, and what kind of how they see music, and how, if it's fun, is it boring, or what they get out of playing together. So I feel a bit the weight on my shoulders that they should think it's fun, you know, and that they should that they should enjoy classical music. And then maybe it's a bit forced to think it like that, but I'm trying to find a way to teach them and to have this orchestra feeling without being forced into, this has to be fun playing classical music. Yeah, so that's kind of been my struggle at the time. Yeah.
Trickiest part. Maybe you should bring some of your Scandi Strings repertoire, and I assume the result will be. Have you tried to do something of that repertoire with your youth orchestra?
I have done, not exactly that repertoire, but more into, you know, like film music or some
there
fun.
Nothing beating Pirates of the Caribbean so far.
Yeah, it's always fun.
It's always fun.
But then I also just figured that in this time that we're living in now, and especially with the youth now, that they're so consumed with their technology and stuff. So I find always this, when we have our rehearsals, it's just, for me, I think it's just a blessing that we could sit together in the room and that they can be present with just what's happening right there and then. And that it's even, I even can put the music aside, because it doesn't matter. I think what matters right now is that they can be off screen and just play together, listen together. You know, it's just, I think those hours are so valuable to them. So I'm just very happy that they are there, actually.
What the weird times we live in, indeed. That it's tricky to compete with the screens. There's a real challenge there.
And that it really just feels like a blessing to be together there and concentrate about the same thing, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we do so much with the youth in NordSync. We are having now this as our second point of applying energy, applying force. One is interdisciplinary productions, and another one is working with the youth and doing some collaborative projects with professionals and amateurs. That's kind of a thing we are focusing on since last autumn. We have launched a couple of projects, which I hope at some point you guys can join and we can do something together.
Nice.
I see very many possibilities and opportunities to do something collaborative with dancing. That would be a fantastic update for orchestras in Østfold. Maybe you could join us also in Nordland. Yesterday I wasn't sleeping, that's why I look like shit. I was writing a couple of applications till like 3 o'clock in the morning. We'll see how that works out. So maybe something will. And then I hope we will do something. And of course, Scandi Strings and your From series, Sophia, sounds super exciting. We'll keep in touch. Maybe we will find something you want to do. Maybe you can teach some of your stuff to our youth orchestras in Østfold. We're having actually quite many. We are having 3 orchestras, which we are sort of uniting under Østfold Musikkforening kind of umbrella. That would be also a fun possibility, but we'll talk about it next time. I really want to thank you for joining, both of you, finding time of your precious weekend. I hope we didn't steal too much time and you still have time to rest before next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Yes, thank you for inviting.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you around.
Bye.
Bye.